Your class has earned a trip into outer space where we will be exploring goals. So, what is a goal, and what is the difference between a financial goal and a personal goal? Great. A personal goal is something that you have a desire to achieve. For example, a personal goal could be to earn straight A's in all of your classes, whereas a financial goal is based on specific dollar amounts. For example, financial goals could be to save money to buy a brand new video game. When it comes to your goals, you have to think outside of the box. We are now going to do a short activity. Remember to think outside of the box. How many of you were able to connect the dots by using only 4 lines? You see, in order to complete this goal, you had to literally extend the lines outside of the box. But over time, why do our goals get lost in space? Often, we will set a goal but never follow through. Let's think for a moment. Why do we even set goals in the first place? We set goals so that we can achieve the things that we desire. Why do you think it's so hard to finish a goal? There are a lot of reasons why finishing a goal can be hard, and the main reason is people often do not put in clear guidelines to know how to accomplish their goals. How many of you used to think that you could do or be anything you wanted, like an astronaut, or a brain surgeon, or a judge? What's changed? Remember when we were learning about needs and wants, there are a lot of different things that influence your decisions. Influences from your family and your friends and even advertising. Your influences greatly impact the way you think about your goals. As you grow up, you train your minds to think logically versus laterally. When you think logically, you are thinking strategically, with reason in the left side of the brain. When you think laterally, you are thinking more with your right side of the brain, using creativity and passion. Now I want you to think about what the future you looks like. Discuss with your class who you want to be in the future. You all have amazing dreams and aspirations. So you see, it's okay to be realistic as much as it's okay to form a positive attitude in thinking outside of the box when it comes to your goals. Now, how do we decide what our goals are? It all starts with your attitude and those out-of-the-box thoughts when you were younger. When you had a dream or wish, you made an effort to make your dream a reality. Let's take a look at a video where one girl did just that.
My initial goal was extremely personal. It was basically to help myself grow my hair back. When I first started my business, people weren't really receptive to it. They never saw this as maybe a multi-million-dollar company, Fortune 500 empire. My name is Jasmine. I'm 15 years old and I own Eden Body Works. When I was 13 years old, I got a perm put in my hair, and it made me lose the majority of my hair. I was crying all the time. I was like, no, don't look at me. I don't want to be seen. So I decided no more chemicals. So I started to look for all natural products, but I couldn't find any. So I decided, with the help of my parents, to make my own products, because I know I'm not the only person who lost their hair in a perm or is having problems with chemicals. I started with, I borrowed some money from my parents, and we got basically a few ingredients, just tested, mixed and matched, looked online, looked in the different organic books that I had to say, when you put this with that, what beneficial properties it had. Now my company is almost 3 years old and we have a huge SKU of products. I would say that I have about 6 or 7 employees working for me right now in a lot of different areas. No, not 6 or 7. I probably have about 10 to 11 employees. And this is one of my employees, Everett. He's my production manager.
I'm 18 and it's kind of weird having a boss that's 15, but I worked through it and it's good.
What does a production manager do?
Well, as a production manager, I make sure everything is produced.
I think they get upset sometimes because the work is really demanding, but I think overall I'm a good boss and I think they love me.
Who's the boss?
I'm the boss. I first tried to get the products into different salons because that was my main goal. So the salons kept telling me no, but this one salon called Changes, they were the one yes I needed to say, you know, I think I can really do this.
Real good.
How's everything selling?
Real good.
right.
Well, Jasmine, I do know her actually very well. She's been coming to the salon since she was 13.
Yeah.
And right now we carry the scalp balm, we carry the shampoo, the conditioner.
I love it.
When I first started, people were, learning about my product and it was spreading through word of mouth. We weren't really doing any type of advertising. And then I put up the website and then people could find me online and I got letters in the mail and calls from different agencies, newspapers from New York, like the New York Times did a segment on me. Then I was in Black Enterprise and then the big one, Oprah, came to me. I'm home from school on February 12th. All the phones are ringing. You're on Oprah. You're on Oprah right now. Do you know that? I go on to the place where I get my orders off my website, and I'm sitting there, and it goes 100 orders, 200 orders, 500, 1,000, 2,000, and I'm sitting there with tears streaming down my eyes, jumping up and down, my mom screaming, we're really doing this, we're making it, people are buying, oh my goodness, jumping up and down, what are we gonna do next?
What?
It never hit us that we were gonna have to fill all those orders. Our big break actually is Walmart. And also more retailers are coming to us. My mom has been able to quit her job and work for me full time. Definitely a successful company. My first goal was to help myself. My next goal was to help my friends and family. And now I'm trying to go worldwide. So I'm about halfway there in my mind.
Woo! Now let's talk about what happened in the video. Did Jasmine have to set goals? What type of attitude did Jasmine have to adopt in order to achieve her goals? Could she have accomplished all that she did without setting goals? And now that she's reached her goal, does she still have to continue to set goals? Now that we've familiarized ourselves with goals, let's take a look at what we need to do to accomplish our goals. The first step is to identify the type of goal. For example, is it a personal goal or a financial goal? Next, you want to determine how long it will take for you to achieve your goal, or a time frame. A goal's time frame can be thought of in 3 different ways: a short-term goal, an intermediate-term goal, and a long-term goal. Talk about what these mean with your class. Great. Let's break them down. A short-term goal is a few weeks to a couple of months. For example, a short-term goal could be to save $25 by the 10th of next month. An intermediate-term goal is a few months to many months. For example, an intermediate-term goal could be to save $10 a week for the next 6 months. A long-term goal is many months to several years. For example, a long-term goal could be to save $2,000 a summer for 3 years. Do you think that your goal should be SMART? Absolutely. The second step is to set SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Your goals should always meet this criteria. Specific. This means that your goal has to be clear and exact. If I say that I want to go to Europe, is that the same thing as me saying that I want to go to Paris, France by the fall of next year? No. So your goals must be specific. Next is measurable. This means you need to say the type of goal it is and exactly how much it will cost. For example, I will save up $1,000 by June of next year by saving all of my allowance money. Third, we have achievable, which most often gets confused with realistic. For example, is it achievable for me to go to the moon? Yes, people have been to the moon, so technically so could I. But is it realistic for me to go to the moon today, right now? No. So going to the moon is not realistic for me. Anything is achievable, but you have to ask yourself, is it realistic for you? Lastly, we have timely. You should always set a time frame so that you don't lose track of your goals. It is so easy for your goals to get lost out in space if you don't set a deadline for yourself to achieve them. So, repeat after me. S stands for specific. M stands for measurable. A stands for achievable. R stands for realistic. And T stands for timely. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So, what kind of goals are these? They're SMART goals. Now let's test out how smart you've become in identifying SMART goals. Our first goal is to draw 15 portraits in the summer. Is this a SMART goal? Well, let's ask ourselves if it meets the criteria. Is it specific? No. Is it measurable? Yes. Is it achievable? Yes. Is it realistic? Sure. Is it timely? No. All right, so now our next goal is to read 5 romantic novels in July. Is it specific? Yes. Is it measurable? Yes. Is it achievable? Yes. Is it realistic? Yes. Is it timely? Yes. Okay, that's great. That's a good example of a SMART goal. Now, the third step is the most fun, creating a plan and putting that plan into action. First, you have to identify your goal. Second, you must establish your criteria. Think of the 3 things you can do to begin to achieve your goal. Third, you must examine your options. What are your options when it comes to achieving your goal? Fourth, weigh out the pros and the cons. What are the positives and the negatives associated with your goals? Next, you are ready to make a decision. To help you decide, you always want to weigh the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is what you lose by having to make a decision between 2 options. For example, if I want to go to the movies, but I also want to go bowling, and I only have enough money to do one, if I decide to go to the movies, bowling is my opportunity cost. It's the chance that I lost because I decided to do something else instead. Lastly, evaluate your goals because no plan is set in stone. Your goals will change as you do. And always remember to consider reality, responsibility, and restraint when it comes to making your goals. Finally, remember that your attitude is everything. So don't forget to think outside of the box and don't box yourself in.